Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another video. What we're going to do today is we'll be looking at our 2025 to 2026 Penn State Nittany Lions football team. We're going to completely break down this roster, look at the coaching staff, look at the offense, the defense, and we're going to try to predict the outcome for every single game on their schedule this season. Which games they're going to win, which games they might lose, and what the final scores are. Guys, first things first, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you have any comments, by all means, don't hesitate. Drop them below. Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? What are your thoughts on my predictions? But also let me know, what are your predictions for this Penn State football team? Do you think they're going to win the Big Ten, the championship, make the playoffs? No matter what, drop your comments below. I will make sure that I respond to every single comment. If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, we have 3 tiers for the member teams. Look down the pinned comment below. You can click on that link, sign up there, and I would definitely appreciate it. And for those of you who have signed up, a huge shout out goes out to you guys. And also, don't forget, once the college football season starts, once the NFL season starts, these seasons are just around the corner. It is almost time for football season to be back. We can't wait. Once we have their kickoff on week 1, we go over every game, college football, NFL, every single week. We break them all down. We do predictions, best bets, money lines, spreads, over under. So if you're a sports fan, football fan, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. But let's start looking at this Penn State team. This was a team that reached expectations last season. James Franklin finally got that weight off his shoulder. What do I mean by that? He finally won a big bowl game. A lot of people throwing a lot of shade at James Franklin, saying he couldn't win a big game. Guys, he won playoff games last season. He did his perennial. They always go 10-2 during the regular season. They topped that last year. They went 11-1. They went to the Big Ten championship. They lost a very close matchup versus the Oregon Ducks, but they went there. They reached the mountaintop almost. They got a taste of it. Now they are returning one of the most experienced teams in the entire nation, especially for the Power Four. When you look at a lot of these other top 10 teams, because don't forget, Penn State's going to be a top 10 team once the regular season starts. A lot of these teams, Bama, Georgia, Texas, Oregon, Ohio State, the defending champions, they're all breaking in new starting quarterbacks. Penn State is not. Penn State is one of the only top 15 teams right now that has their returning quarterback coming in from last season, again in the same system. The other one would be LSU with Nussmeier coming back, but that gives Penn State a massive advantage. Think of the last 2 champions. Michigan, veteran experienced team, guys coming back for the 4th year. Ohio State last season, experienced team, a lot of seniors on the team. This is Penn State this season. This has been kind of the model that's been set the last couple teams. Whoever has the more experienced veteran squad is the one who's made the playoffs, is the one who's won the national championship. Maybe this is Penn State's year. That's the measuring factor here. When you look at what Vegas is predicting for this team, they have the Nittany Lions coming in at 10.5 wins. So between that 10 to 11 win mark, that's our measuring stick here. That's what we're going to be judging success off this season. But no matter what, coming out of the Big Ten, if you at least go 10-2, that's going to get you in the playoffs. James Franklin, every single season, that was an ongoing joke. He always goes 10-2, but never made the playoffs. But obviously last season, they extended the playoffs to 12 teams. He made it in. He won a playoff game. He's been there before. Now he can take it to the next level with potentially the Buckeyes, with Michigan, with a lot of these other perennial teams taking a step back. Maybe this is Penn State's year. James Franklin, he has Jim Knowles coming over as the defensive coordinator. This is a guy who led the #1 defense in the nation last season. Penn State, they always have a top 10 defense. Whether it was Diaz, Allen, doesn't matter. Knowles is going to bring that consistency here. They're going to be aggressive. Get after the quarterback. Get in the backfield. They'll be top 10 overall defense, top 10 in points per game, top 10 in total yardage given up. They'll be top 10 in sacks, quarterback pressure, tackle for a loss, every single category, because their front 7 is still going to be elite. Yes, Abdul Carter's gone. Might have been the best defensive player in the entire nation last season, but they are deep. They have Campbell coming over from UNC. They have Dennis Sutton. They have a great linebacker core. Rojas, DeLuca, a lot of weapons there. A lot of weapons for Knowles to use. And Andy Konalicki, he has another season with Drew Aller. Drew Aller last year, 3,000 yards, 24 touchdowns. He also ran for 6 touchdowns. He's not a dual-threat quarterback, but he will take off. He will surprise you with his legs. He will extend plays with his legs. But one thing about him, he's always keeping his eye down the field. The largest knock here is he cannot win the big game. They said that a lot about a lot of quarterbacks last couple seasons, but when you're returning a veteran team in these schemes, in these systems, it gives you a massive advantage here. And obviously the biggest thing helping him out is he's going to have one of the deepest, to me, the best 1-2 running back combo in the entire nation. He's going to have Singleton. He's going to have Allen again for the second or third year. elite running back. 1, 2, cycling those guys in, rotating them, keeping their legs fresh over a 12-game regular season schedule in the Big Ten. Penn State is going to be extremely difficult to beat because when you have the lead, all they need to do, run the clock out, line up in the eye, run it right down your throat. They're going to have a great offensive line. They're going to have a great defensive line. This team is going to be deep. They're going to be much better overall team than they were last year. Yes, they lost Warren. Might have been the best tight end in the nation last season. That guy was a one-man machine. Think the USC game, but they're going to be able to replace that production. Dinkins, Luke Reynolds, the wide receiver core. They have Pena coming over. They have Ross, Hudson, Gonzalez, Clifford. There's a lot of weapons there. This might be their best wide receiver core they've had in a while. The weapons are there. The pieces are there. Is this the year that Penn State not just finally wins the Big Ten again, but they're going to make the playoffs? I don't have any doubt that they'll make the playoffs. Will they be competing? Will they make that national championship game? Like I said, the mark here is 10.5 wins. Let's not waste any more time. Let's start going over that schedule game by game. Obviously, whenever you have a game one game week one, teams might be a little rusty here. Penn State Saturday, August 30th versus Nevada. Nevada coming in here. Nevada won 3 games last season. I'm not expecting much of a competition here versus this Penn State team, but this is finally their first chance to pin their ears back. Let the Big Ten know that they have arrived and that they are the team to beat this season. I have Penn State completely dominating this game. It is not going to be close at any point, but Nevada might get a garbage second half touchdown. I have Penn State winning this one 48-7, starting out the season 1-0. And Penn State is, in all honesty, guys, starting out the season with a couple cupcakes. I'm not knocking it. That's the way you want to start out a season. Get to an early lead, Big Ten play. It's going to be tough enough. Have the cupcakes. Get everyone, oiled up, ready. So once you get into Big Ten conference play, you are a well-oiled machine. Saturday, September 6th versus FIU. Coming all the way to play Penn State here. Coming all the way to Pennsylvania to just basically get curb stomped. Penn State's going to be getting better every single game. This is a team that once you get to the second half of the season, they're really going to hit their stride down the stretch here leading up to the Big Ten championship. I have Penn State winning this one again, completely dominating this game. I have them winning it 44-9, and they're 2-0. And hey, why not third straight game? Another cupcake, Saturday, September 13th versus Villanova. You might have not even known that Villanova had a football team. They're more known for their basketball team. They are FCS when it comes to football. They're going to get curb stomped. Obviously, again, no challenge here. But what you can do these first 3 games here, they are cupcakes. Get the backups in second half. Give those backups reps. That just adds to your depth down the stretch. There will be injuries. There will be games where your depth will be challenged versus very talented teams. Buckeyes, Michigan, Nebraska, Rutgers, team that are difficult at the line of scrimmage. You're going to want that depth the last 4 quarters. Penn State's not going to have any problem. They're going to win this game. To me, this is going to be their largest win of the season. They win it 62-3, and they're 3-0. And then we get our first Big Ten matchup, and it is a very good one. This could be the Penn State game. This is going to be at home for Penn State. This is going to be the whiteout game at night. It is going to be a crazy one. I'm going to say it right now. This is going to be a college game day game. Saturday, September 27th versus the Oregon Ducks coming to Penn State. This is going to be a top 10 on top 10 matchup, potentially top 5 versus top 5. This is their first 2 tests, but this is also their chance to let the Big Ten know they are in that first place position this season. This is going to be a very difficult game. Oregon, very talented team. Both these teams have top 10 overall rosters, but Penn State's edge, Drew Aller returning, the run game, Singleton, Allen, they can rely on these guys third, fourth quarters. Don't make mistakes. That great run game, it's going to open up the play action passing for Drew Aller. Oregon breaking in a new quarterback. This isn't the Ducks team from last season. They had a lot of veterans. They have Dante Moore, 5-star coming out of high school, but you haven't seen much of him at all in a Ducks uniform. He is leading the Oregon Ducks here, leading the Nike-branded school coming to Penn State. This is going to be his first time probably getting punched in the mouth in his college football career. I have Penn State. This is going to be revenge for the Big Ten championship loss last season. I have you guys beating the Oregon Ducks at home. You win this one 34-24, and you are 4-0, probably positioning yourself in the lead right now in the Big Ten. 4-0, can't complain about that. And then you have the UCLA Bruins Saturday, October 4th. They're going to be at UCLA, traveling all the way across the country. And they have Nico transferring over from Tennessee. Is that going to help UCLA? I don't honestly think so. It's not going to make them worse, but he didn't do too much at Tennessee last season. Wish Josh Heupel as his offensive coordinator, who's one of the best offensive minds in college football. Yes, he's better than what they had before, but there's going to be a massive talent disparity here. The big issue for Penn State is coming off of that Oregon win. Sometimes you don't take the next game serious. You were kind of riding too high. Penn State might have not have faced that high of success in basically the last decade. I hope that they respond here. Franklin, this is going to test you. Keep your team focused. I don't think they'll have any problem. It's just that happens to some teams. I don't think it's going to happen to Penn State. Franklin's been around for a while. They are a disciplined team. Don't forget, they are a veteran team. That's where the experience helps this team, where other teams are not going to have that experience on the roster. Penn State's going to dominate this game. I have them winning it handily, 38-20, and they are 5-0. And then another Big Ten game, Saturday, October 11th, versus the Northwestern team. Northwestern, great school academically. You have Preston Stone transferring over as a quarterback. He was the guy that did start the season last year at SMU. Comes from that air raid up-tempo system here. Northwestern, they just don't have the weapons, but one thing you can't forget about Northwestern, they always have a surprise season every 3 to 4 years, especially back when they had Pat Fitzgerald. They were always competitive at some point, always very physical, really good defense. But they should not be able to compete here. Penn State should be able to dominate this game. I have them winning it, and it just being a sloggy, boring game. Penn State just beats the crap out of them at the line of scrimmage, at the point of attack in the trenches. Penn State wins this one 33-12, and they are now 6-0. You don't want to sleep on this next team, Saturday, October 11th at Iowa. Going to Iowa, very difficult place to play. Ferentz's team here, one of the longest tenured coaches in the entire country. But let's call things like they are. Ferentz runs one of the most boring vanilla offenses you will ever see in your life. An atrocious offense. 2 years ago, they had the number 131 offense in the country, but they always have a top 10, top 15 defense nationally. They kick well. They play special teams. They play elite defense. A lot of their scores actually come from defensive points. That's how crazy it is. If they just had a top 50 offense, this could be a national championship team, but they just never will because they'll never have a modern offense. We like to call it like it is. You are going to have Mark Gronowski coming over from the Dakotas. He's going to be the quarterback here for Iowa. Do not sleep on Iowa. They will be physical. They will have a great defense. They will keep this game close. But the big question is, will they be able to compete with Penn State in the fourth quarter? This is going to be a very boring, muddy, old-fashioned slogging game decided in the trenches. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a third, fourth down warfare type game. That's what Iowa wants to do. They want to slow the whole game down, force you to play their style of football. But the thing about Penn State with the run game, their elite duo combo at the running back position, they are built to play that style of football. They're not going to be scared. You're not going to outmuscle them. They can match you at the point of attack. I have Penn State winning a very, very low-scoring game, 24-15, and they're 7-0. And how about this game? This matchup is always a great one. They've won all the rivalry, all the big games so far. Can they continue that momentum Saturday, November 1st at the Ohio State Buckeyes going to Columbus, Ohio? Ohio State, unlike Penn State, breaking in a new quarterback. They are the defending national champions, but a lot of those pieces are gone. But this is one of the most talented, well-coached teams in the nation. They are the defending champions. You got to give them some respect. You're going to have Sayan taking over at the quarterback position. You have the best wide receiver in all of college football, the best freshman wide receiver I've ever seen in my life. Jeremiah Smith lit things up last season, just under 1,400 yards, 15 touchdowns. You have Caleb Down, might be the best defensive player in the nation this season. They're going to have a top 10 defense. They're going to have a good offense. That's Ryan Day's specialty. You know they're going to be able to score points. They cycle players in. They're going to have a good run game, one of the best. They might have the best wide receiver core in the nation. Sayan's going to have a lot of weapons to chuck the ball to. Penn State, after the physical games, after Oregon, after Iowa, can you now go to Ohio State and beat them? I have Penn State finally dropping this one. I have them losing a very close game here, 24-23. Might even be an overtime game, doesn't matter. I have Penn State losing this one. They're now 7-1 with their first Big Ten loss. Penn State fan, guys, don't tune out. Don't shut the video off. It really honestly doesn't mean anything. 7-1, don't forget, as long as you make 10 wins in the Big Ten, you will be in the playoffs. Once you get to the playoffs, everything resets. Everyone's on a fair, evenly matched board. Anyone can make the national championship. The Buckeyes definitely showed that last season. They didn't even win the Big Ten. They didn't even make the Big Ten championship. They won the national championship. Right now, you're 7-1, but it gives you that revenge factor. You saw the Buckeyes. Now you know what didn't work. So if you play them in the Big Ten championship, you can approach the game from a different altitude, and maybe you might beat them now. Obviously, this next team had a great season last year. They were a playoff team last year, Saturday, November 18th, versus the Indiana Hoosiers. You have Fernando Mendoza transferring over from Cal. He's going to be the quarterback here. Rourke is gone. You have to respect Cignetti's team. They made the playoffs last season. They had a great run game. They had a top 25 defense. They had a top 30 offense. They are a well-coached team. There's a talent disparity here, but Cignetti gets the most out of his players. He's been working the portal. They've been in this system now multiple seasons. They are getting better. They are going to be deep. But just like that Buckeyes game last season, where Penn State can separate themselves as late third, fourth quarter, their physicality should be able to, on paper, wear down Indiana. Coming off that loss, just keep your focus back on making the Big Ten championship, on making the playoffs. Don't lose heart. Don't drop this game because you are disheartened in that loss to the Buckeyes. I don't think that's going to happen. I have Penn State rebounding with a dominating win here. They win this one 30-20, and they're 8-1. And then you have Smith's team coming up next Saturday, November 15th at Michigan State. Michigan State had to completely flip the roster last season. Aiden Childs, quarterback. He had some touchdowns. He had a lot of turnovers last season. He should be getting better second season in this system. He was like a high 4-star, 5-star quarterback coming out of high school. Smith, good coach here. But again, he's in an extremely difficult and deep conference versus these big league teams. But always keep your eye on Michigan State. Sometimes they just piece together a very competitive season. But I have Penn State ultimately pulling away with the win. No matter what, if it is close, you always have that ground and pound game. Penn State wins this one 35-17, and they're 9-1. Matt Rule wants to win his type of games the same way Franklin does, with elite defense, with the run game, and with their offensive and their defensive lines. Next game Saturday, November 22nd. Guys, you are already 9-1. One more win, and you're going to have a shoe-in shot to make the playoffs. You're going to be playing the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Coming to Penn State, Nebraska, Matt Rule, good coach. They have a 5-star quarterback as well. They have Dylan Raiola. Showed some flashes last season, showed some question marks, but obviously freshman quarterback, he was bound to make some mistakes. He's going to be better this season. They're going to have a good defense. Nebraska, very, very physical team. Like I said, they want to play you the same way Penn State does, but Penn State has an edge here. But do not sleep on Nebraska. Don't get caught looking at the Big Ten championship and you don't take this game serious, because Nebraska will punch you in the mouth. They will beat you. But I think Penn State's going to win this one, but I think it's going to be really close. This is two really good defenses, physical teams that want to dominate run game, play action, line of scrimmage football. Penn State wins this one 23-17, very low scoring game. Guys, you are 10-1 right now. You are at least making the playoffs going into this final game of the season. And here we are, our final regular season game, Saturday, November 29th at Rutgers. Rutgers, you have Greg Schiano, tough football coach. A lot of these Big Ten teams are built the same ways. The Iowas, Illinois, Nebraskas, Rutgers, just hard-nosed, physical, offensive line, defensive front seven, just old school, lining up in the eye, muscle, man-on-man style football. That's what Rutgers is. Loaded with 2 and 3 stars, but they will compete with you up to the third quarter. The talent disparity should begin you to pull away here. Penn State, though, once you get the lead this game, no reason to leave the starters in. Because to me, if you win this game, you are making the Big Ten championship. You might have that rematch with the Buckeyes. You've already played them once. You know what you did wrong, what to work on. You've already beat the Oregon Ducks if it is them. If it's, let's say, Michigan, you haven't played them yet, but you know that you can also compete with Michigan because Michigan plays that same style of football that you do. I have Penn State winning this one. It is close first half. I do not have it being close second half. Penn State ultimately wins it 33-18. I have Penn State finishing the regular season 11-1. That lone loss to the Buckeyes. You got that game circled. If you me ratchet them, it is hard to beat a good team twice in one season. So Penn State's probably going to be favored in round 2. They finish the season 11-1. They make the Big Ten championship. Whether they win or lose, no matter what, you guys are in the playoffs again, competing for a national championship. So that's our predictions for our 2025 Penn State Nittany Lions football team. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. If you have any comments, drop them below. Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? What are your thoughts on these predictions? What are your thoughts? What are your predictions for Penn State? Let me know in the comment section. I will respond to every single comment. If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, look down, pin comment below. Click on that link. You can sign up there, and I would definitely appreciate it. And of course, as always, thank you for watching.